Today is December the 5th, and it is the 5th day of Advent. And today I have included something for the cats. I made these little fish out of some Christmas fabric I had, and they crinkle. So one fish, and he gets some tea and a little treat, and that is going to be for today. One of the things that I'm putting in my son's advent calendar are some cat toys. He has 4 cats. I know it sounds like a lot. It is a lot, but he inherited them. Anyway, he has 4 cats, so I'm making a toy for each of his cats. So what I've done is I've just drawn out a fish, and I've cut out the pieces for each fish, and I put just a very light interfacing on each one. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out a smaller fish out of this Cheesies bag. You're supposed to use something crinkly. So I'm going to cut out, first I'm going to sew these up, take them to the sewing machine and sew them up. And then I'm going to cut out a fish to put inside so that it's crinkly for them. And then all you do is just finish sewing the edge, and they're done. So I put them, I have just used scraps of fabric. This was all Christmas fabric that I just had left over, so I just made little pieces from that. So I'm going to sew these together, and then I'm going to cut out smaller fish for inside, and we're going to see how crackly these get. All right, so I've got them all sewn together. I'm just going to turn them now, and we'll see what they're like. Well, I guess that's kind of fishy. There's 2, like this one. And there's 3. And the last one. And there we go. There's the last one. So 4 fish. Now what we have to do is we have to cut some of this crinkly stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut down the pattern that I drew out to something a little bit smaller. And just going to cut 2 at a time. Hope this works. I'm just going to stuff 2 in. Oh yeah, it is crinkly. Not bad. But I think before I stuff all these in there, I think I'm just going to give this a little press so that the I could put a little stuffing in there too, I guess. But I think I'll just give it a little press so that it holds its shape better. While I'm cutting, I'll just cut them all out. There's 2 more. I'm not really paying that much heed to it being a perfect fish, and this is getting shoved in there anyway, so what difference does it make? It's just for the crinkle, not for anything else. So there's 2 more. And the last 2, I suppose you could put more in if you wanted to. And there's the last 2. Okay. I think I'm going to turn my iron on and just give these a little iron before I put the crinkly in there. I think that might be a good idea. So I have ironed them, and I've been putting the crinkling in, and I decided to add a little bit more. There's no stuffing in them, so they're not fluffy or anything, but just to give it more crinkle. Ow, I just cut myself. Wasn't that the smartest thing I ever done? Didn't even go through. So I'm just adding 1 more little piece just to give it a little bit more. I need a little bit more on this one. And now I will just sew the ends in, the ends up. I'm just going to trim them off though, kind of uneven. And the little fish are done. Quick, fast, easy little toy, cat toy. Actually, I think I'm just going to go this way. I'm not even going to fold it in. I'm just going to go right across and leave the edge raw, because a fish has fluffy tail, doesn't he? So that's what I'm going to do. Just going to iron this a little bit better. And we're done. 4 fish for 4 cats with some crinkle. I think they'll like this. There we have our 4 fish, all done. And that's one less thing to make. I'm getting down to just actually 2 things left to do. One is finish the socks, which I just started, so that is going to take me a week. And the other is to finish painting something. You'll see that in another video. Thanks for watching. I decided not to post yesterday's video because the video was long enough to add this to it. So this is yesterday's stitching. Okay, so today it's the 5th, and I've got this nice big one, and I did mention on this day what I was going to do on this day, and it involves 3 spools. So I decided I'm going to do a wreath here. So I have 3 sizes of spools, and I'm just going to draw around the biggest one. And then I'm going to put the smaller one in here. I don't know if I can't see if I've got it. I'm going to have to stand up. Yeah, I guess that's okay. Oh, this squeaky floor drives me nuts. And then I'm going to put that smaller one inside there. Look at the label on here. Woolcrest. This was in the sewing drawer, my mom's sewing table that I have. That was either Woolworths or Woolco. Neither one are around anymore. Okay, gotta do this little one inside here. All right, oh, that's a little, okay. Just gonna put these aside. So what I thought I was going to do with this is I'm going to do a blanket stitch on each ring with the long parts going that way. And I might, I'm thinking of how I'm going to make it look textured. I don't know exactly. Let's pull some greens. I really need green. I don't have a lot of green in this stash, and I don't use my good stuff on this project. The idea was to use up all of my scraps on this project. And so far I've managed to stick to my scraps. This is a different yarn. This is not this is almost like a tapestry yarn or something. I'm going to put that aside because it really doesn't belong with what I'm doing now. But I don't have a whole lot of different greens. I have a little bit of the darker stuff here. There's another piece. Actually, once you start pulling, you have more than you think you have. This is sort of a bluey green. What else do I have here? I just have such a mess. There's a dark one again. Actually, I have been wanting to go back and work on my knitting bag made out of blue jeans that I was working on a long time ago. It's been this year, but it's been a while since I touched that project, and I really want to work on it. So I think after I do this, maybe I'll just do some stitching on it. We'll see. Okay, this is all I've got for green. Oh yes, I have this green too. So I'm going to have to do something with this because this is all I got. So I think I'm going to do the dark on the outside. I'll start with that. Is that the same as that? Yes, it is. And now, if I was a needle, where would I be? You know, I've got so many needle minders here. There we go. No. What was the piece I was going to start with? This one here. I don't think this was the needle I was using either. Probably end up stepping on it. Actually, this is a good needle. I like this one. But this one's super sharp. So I'm going to do the blanket stitch around here. And let's get started. Let's go down here. Turn this so it's sort of the right way for me. Can you see what I'm doing? I really can't see what you're seeing because the bar is in the way. This way. I'm going to do it fairly uneven, I think. I have no idea if this is going to work out properly, but we'll find out. I do love the blanket stitch. I think it's one of the nicest stitches. When I used to make dolls way back in the day, and if I was embroidering the eyes and the features on the face, I always used the blanket stitch for eyelashes because it just worked out so well, as you can kind of see. So far my thing looks like it has eyelashes. Well, once again, I lost a bunch of what I was saying because the camera wasn't in the right spot thanks to the tripod. So I flipped the camera over to the other side, and hopefully you're going to be in proper alignment this time. Okay, I finished the outside of this first line over the first spool. You saw me drawing the spool. I think that was clear on here, but as I was working and turning the work, you were totally off of camera, so I apologize. I need to get different equipment, I think. Okay, so I'm going to start now with a different green. It's a little brighter green. And I'm going to start working my blanket stitch in this one here. But I'm going to stitch into some of these other areas to cover up the white spots. Not all, but some. And I'm catching everything here while I go. And I got to turn this again. I'll try and keep you in the frame, I hope. I'm really sorry about my inability to do this overhead. It just seems to be very elusive somehow. So I'm just working into the next one between all of these stitches. I don't know that, I think I have to do more than just go in between those though. I think I have to do quite a few more because I want to make it full. It might work. All right, this is what I have of my wreaths so far. I've just got one more ring to do. And, whoop, sorry about that. I think I'm losing my light here. Okay. I'm going to start right here. And this is another color of green. So we'll see how this goes. It's not horrible. Not quite what I had in mind, but it's not horrible. Is it horrible? I don't think it's really horrible. Huh. Well, this didn't turn out as bad as I thought it would. It's sort of what I envisioned. I mean, it's puckered up my fabric a little bit, but it'll iron down. I'm not worried about that. I did blanket stitch on those 3 rings that I drew out. And then after I finished doing the 3 rings in blanket stitch, then I just took and did some long stitches in here just to fill up some of the white that was showing through. And then I French knot some holly berries on there. And I did wrap this middle part here because it was this bright green right here, this bright green, and I didn't like the look of it, so I wrapped the inside of the blanket stitch. I've never thought of wrapping the straight part of the blanket stitch, and it actually worked quite nice. So it's not bad. Actually looks quite nice. That I'm happy with. Okay. That turned out better than I thought it would. Now I'm happy with it.